shake your dreams from your hair. I'm already there, right beside you. So please, don't hide, just say I'll be there if it breaks, right beside you. Suddenly I know now how it feels. I no longer have to beg or steal. I can stand now on this higher ground, where love is just a sound. Where love is...
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Happy 2-4 weekend.
Right? Long weekend. Whoop, whoop. You got your Timmies today?
Every morning. You know what? I need to stop drinking it, but I can't. It's like crack.
Yeah, I've taken a break from my my lovely mushroom coffee
Okay.
to go grab a Starbucks because I had that gift card from Mother's Day.
Right.
So
Right. Well, I'm glad you didn't waste your gift card on that new refresher drink.
I did. One of my thing was, one of the things I bought was that refresher drink.
Oh, no.
I was super disappointed. Like Aiden's had it already before and he said it was really good. So yesterday I ended up picking up the refresher drink and I took okay, I'm not a fan of boba. Like it's not a tapioca balls, not my thing.
Right.
So when I got it, I was like, at first I thought I was like, they're little fruit pieces. And I didn't realize that's what, like, it was similar to that. And
Right.
yeah, I was like, I'm not sure about this. So I took a drink for a sip and Aiden's looking at me and he's like, you don't look too thrilled about that drink. And I was like, it's underwhelming.
Yeah. So I tried it yesterday and it's like the great value version of bubble tea. The boba. Because bubble tea, have you had bubble tea, boba?
I have not.
Okay, so not the tapioca. The tapioca is so gross, but they have the ones, and they're huge. And you pop in your mouth, and it's peach. It's so good.
Okay, so they do. So it's not just tapioca balls. They have the ones where it's like a fruit juice inside as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the ones at Starbucks, they're like a fraction of the size. And it's super underwhelming. Like it's so disappointing. And you get like this much bubbles in the bottom.
Okay.
Like, what is that? You're paying $7 for a drink and you don't even want to give me the best part of it?
Right. Well, I mean, the little fruit things were okay, but it was just, and I also forgot to ask for light ice. So any of you who get cold drinks from Starbucks, you have to ask for light ice. Because if not, you're getting like all ice and like just a little bit of liquid. You're not getting your money's worth for it.
And
so
sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I can totally hear them rolling their eyes when I say light ice. Like you can hear the roll.
Yeah. So they have a Starbucks at work in our office building, and they started charging now for light ice.
What?
Yeah. So they now charge you to put less stuff in your drink, but it's because they're giving you more liquid, right? So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They started implementing that, and I looked at them. I'm like, whatever, just give me light ice. I'm already paying $7 for the drink. Like,
I want the actual drink.
What's another 75 cents? Like, come on, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, but I have to say, like, the gift card, like, you can go really like through that really quickly when you're buying stuff at Starbucks because it's just so expensive. It's not something that you're gonna like. I can't get Starbucks every day. I don't make Starbucks money.
Yeah, I would prefer a $10 Tim's card over a $10 Starbucks card because I know at Tim Hortons I can get 4 coffees for $10.
Yeah, you see, I'm not a fan of Timmy's though. G likes his Timmy's, but I had the tiramisu one that you were raving about, and it was pretty good. But I find that the cold brews are hit and miss. Like sometimes they're really good and sometimes they make it really weird and it doesn't taste that good.
Right.
So let's see who we have in the house today. Hold on. We got Shauna Kana. Good morning. East Valley Exotics. I think this is Chris's because there's Teresa. Ha. Good morning, Teresa. We got House of Geckos. Good morning. We got 10 people in the house this morning waking up early.
Nice.
That's awesome. And then there's my hubby, Gerald. Good morning. Happy 2-4 weekend, right? Gonna have to hit up the LCBO later. And then the fat man's in the house. Oh, thank you. I got my natural curly hair today. This is me doing basically nothing with my hair. It's super frizzy. And who else? Shauna. Well, what else we got? Oh, I used to love Orbits. Yeah, do you remember those drinks? They were like little glass bottles.
Yeah.
That's a blast from the past, right? Oh, Gerald was mentioning it too. Does anyone remember Orbits drinks? They also had Snapple had those element drinks. Do you remember those? They were like fire, wind.
No, I'm too young for that, bro. I don't remember that.
I remember getting the fire Snapple drink all the time when I was younger and mixing it with vodka.
Oh my god.
They don't make it anymore. Yeah, I know we have quite a few people in the house this morning. Oh, Sly Kitten's in the house. Good morning. Tammy, good morning. Awesome. Yes, I missed I went back to it, Gerald, so hush, hush now. So anything exciting happen this week?
Nikita found me a huge pink princess in Orleans.
That's
now
awesome.
I don't know if everybody or anybody remembers my saga with my plant, but I ordered itty bitty sad tiny like half a leaf pink princess off Plantasia. Anyways, it's an online shop. And I paid $60 for this plant. So imagine my disappointment when I opened it and it was like this fucking big. I'm like, what is it?
Like a culture plant. It was like one of those culture growths or a node growth or something. Hey, it's like super tiny.
Yeah, and it was in a plug and like it was a whole thing. It was like not having a good time. Anyways, Nikita, Mystical Jumpers, found me this big one. Like she's like so big. I got like 5 plants out of this one plant. And you want to know what she paid for it?
Probably not the $60, $65 you paid for yours, right?
$5.
Yeah, that's wild.
5 plants out of this mother plant.
Now, is the little one that you got though, does it at least have, even though it's small, does it have nicer variegation on it, or is there any redeeming qualities from it? Or
there is some marbling, but the marbling is white. Pink that's coming in isn't even pink. Like I kind of think that this online shop may have dyed this plant because the white that's coming in is supposed to be pink, but it's white and it has like the smallest little tad of pink underneath the white. It's super weird.
So I wouldn't, in all honesty, like I wouldn't see the value of dyeing a plant to be a pink princess because you'd have to dye like a white princess for that.
Right.
And for the longest time, the white princess was more valuable than the pink princess. Like I have heard them dyeing some plants. I can't think of the name, Rojo Congo or something. There was another plant that came out that was artificially modified. So it was a dye, and they were saying like that the variegation would fade over time, and it was found to have been a plant that was dyed. Right. So it does. It's not common. It does happen. But to dye something like pink princesses became super widely available because everyone went crazy for them, right? Like when I got into them, they were only like $30, $35. I bought them off on Etsy. But then they shot up like crazy prices when people couldn't get them anymore. And then the white princesses were even harder to find.
So I repotted the pink princess, like the little one, and the roots aren't even pink. They're not red or anything. They're white. Okay. And when I repotted this one, even her babies, like the tiny little guys that were in with her, their roots are pink.
Yeah.
And I was thinking,
well, they're like burgundy, right? And even if you cut near the stem or anything, like it's a burgundy-ish liquid that comes out of it.
Right. So what I'm saying though is the little one that I got from this online shop isn't even like the roots aren't pink or burgundy, and the juice when you snip a leaf off is not any color but clear.
Yeah. G's making a comparison with, it's like when a girl looks stacked and tosses you those cutlets at the end of the night. So you got your plant and you were like, oh, it's in this big pot, it has like such a great root system, and you take it out, you're like, what the hell?
Right.
Like, that's deceiving. The plant market is crazy, Gerald. Like, honestly, gee, like some of the things people were doing just to get sales, even like passing plants off as other plants when they were corms, right? When they're just like little,
right,
when they don't even have a leaf yet, and they'll be selling seeds or they'll be selling corms saying that it's something worth a lot more than what it was, and then you start growing it and it's a regal shield, or like it's not what you expected to get.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you found that big pink princess. I know that the larger ones, sometimes when you get them for cheaper, they don't have as much variegation. But the good thing about it is that they're so easy to propagate. So if you get a leaf that you'll see in the stem, right? Like there's the variegation in the stem.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a good one that you can take a cutting off of that is showing great variegation, then you can always propagate that and grow another plant with more variegation.
Right. So the one I have, her most recent leaf is half pink.
Yeah.
And well, the one, awesome. Yeah, the leaf that's coming in now looks like it's completely pink.
I think it's fair to say the place you bought the pink princess from are scammers, which is common. Yeah, it's too bad. I have to see it. You'll have to show me the little pink princess that you got, because I'll have to see it to see if I can ID it as something else. But honestly, it's probably a culture growth is what they did, and those take a lot longer to establish, right? And they're like little itty bitty baby leaves, and it might surprise you. Maybe the pink will start coming out as it grows, and if not, then maybe you got a white wizard or a white princess or something instead.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've started plant shopping again too there.
I know, I can see it. It's all behind you.
Well, like all the stuff behind me is still the stuff that I've got, like I've had before, but I've been online plant shopping, and I'm holding out because we have the expo coming in Ottawa. Right. And we'll have the whole plant section, right, that they add to the reptile section, and there's some good vendors that are coming that I know of, that I've bought from before, that I follow online, and I'm really excited to see them come to Ottawa so I can pick up some new additions.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, Jesus, online shopping. Right, so online shopping can be amazing or awful. Buyers beware. Yeah, it's a hit and miss, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you, I just bought a new bra online from Shapify. I've been getting these ads all the time on my Instagram, and they're constantly pushing these bra ads. I'm wearing it right now. I can tell you, it is a win. So all you ladies out there who see those Shapify ads, highly recommend. Or is it, no, not Shapify, Shaper Mint. That's what it is.
Okay.
Shaper Mint. If you've been seeing those ads, I highly recommend you get into those Shaper Mint bras, because they're pretty spectacular.
Cool.
Yeah, you want to hop in some tea?
Sure.
Unless you have anything else you want to talk about before we hop into it.
Nope.
What's the tea?
I don't know. I think I spilled it before the segment.
Yeah. Well, so we got we got these new PVC enclosures from a company out in Canada. It's out west in Canada, and it's Gecko Reptiles.
Okay.
And actually, oh, you see, I thought it downloaded, but it didn't download. Just a sec. Now I got to go back and get this picture so I can share it with everybody. And we are going to save it here. No, here, save. Okay. So I got these enclosed 3 PVC enclosures to bring to replace. We had a table upstairs in our living room that had a just like one of those glass terrariums for our bearded dragon, and wanted to kind of upgrade her enclosure and add something different and new. So I'm just loading it up here. It's loading. There it is. So these are the 3 new PVCs. Now they look a little empty because I realized how much larger they are than everything else that we've had. So I have to go and shop at Critter Jungle and get a bunch of new stuff to add to it. But yeah, so the top one we have Willis, who's the bearded dragon, who for some reason was loving leaning up against the wall. She has like this pyramid thing that she's lying on. The middle one is Cooper, so that's the tortoise. So he was in one of those big tortoise hut things, and so a part of his tortoise hut was enclosed, right? It was like his hide and his bed, and he had like this little log hide, so it's a lot more open than he's used to, and it kind of flipped backwards to what he was used to too. So I got to get him another little hut and fill this up a lot more. And then the bottom one is Bruce. So he's the Brazilian rainbow boa who was behind me. Okay. So this enclosure behind me, I don't know, it's my chair. This thing behind me is now going to be gone, and the wall behind me is going to be geckos. So I get a lot more room into this room, which is awesome. And then this looks so much nicer in the wall up, like on that wall upstairs. Like it's so much more clean and a nice cleaner setup, right? Yeah, G's commenting on it. It can build. What? Oh, that's awesome that they came built like that. Amazing. Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. I got these enclosures. Gerald, yes, put them together yesterday because he does an excellent job, and it would take me 4 times, 5 times longer to build this. Let's be real. He's really good at putting things together. So here's your props, Gerald. You've put them together. They came flat packed. Yes, you did a great job. Hero biscuit. But their enclosures are really awesome. And I don't think a lot of people know about them, because when I hear people talking about different enclosures on YouTube and online that are Canadian, they tend to mention a lot of other companies. And there's other companies in the States too that they've brought things over that they've tested out and that they've tried. Right. And if anyone hasn't checked out Gecko Reptiles, I highly recommend that you Google them, especially for gecko breeders, because they have these gecko condos and gecko townhouses, which are those PVC enclosures, but they're already divided for like individual compartments, like enclosures for each gecko. Okay. And you can make like a full wall.
Cool.
Tammy says, can you put their link in the chat? Yeah, of course. I'll do that right now. Yeah, like, and I've been speaking with them, and we are planning on having them come on one of our shows so we can talk about their enclosures and what different things that they have to offer. I'm just trying to bring this up here. Do you have PVC stuff at your place, April?
I do. I have my snake racks. But the person that I bought my snake racks from, they went like belly up shortly after COVID ended. So
okay. And then were they Canadian or?
Yeah. And it was super cool because when I ordered my racks, they'd shipped them out and they were like built already. But they were here within 4 hours. Like they literally shipped them, and whoever drove them down here within 4 hours. So they weren't in transit for like, a week or whatever.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I can pin it, but I think I have to go on Facebook or on YouTube to pin it. But here it is. I'll put it. What I'll do is I'll go put it in the comments and the YouTube, like on the video once it's posted. But yeah, it's mecoreptiles.ca. and their enclosures are pretty. They're pretty solid. Like, we're really happy with them. The airflow was really great. G could probably comment to the building of it. It seemed pretty easy to put together, but of course I can't take the credit for putting them together. So it's really something that 4 to 6 week lead time is what he's saying. Gee, how easy were they to put together? If you could comment on that. They looked pretty easy to me. Like, it didn't take that long. He just says, but amazing. So yeah, like, it's we're super happy with it. And I think the plan is to get more gecko condos and townhouses to put on this wall here at some point so that we can have it all set up. But they look super nice, right? Like, I want to add some of the LED lights in there and have it all set up so it looks all professional and fancy.
Good idea. It looks really great.
Yeah.
Already even done.
Yeah, so that's a little positivity of today is great job, Mecco. Love the enclosures and excited to get some more.
I'm going to check them out for sure.
What's that?
And I'm going to check them out for sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There wasn't really much going on online. Like, the only thing that I saw that Juliana's Geckos posted some geckos for sale on her website this week. So I think that went live yesterday or the day before. Okay. And she usually doesn't have, Nicoletta doesn't usually have a lot of geckos posted on her website. So that was kind of new and exciting to see pop up. And Altitude Exotics is doing a huge post, I think, at the end of the month, where I saw him commenting that he was taking a bunch of pictures to set up on the website. I think he's having over 100 geckos or something that he's going to be posting for sale. So that's going to be a spring shopping spree maybe for some people. Who knows?
Yeah.
My gecko, so I did pick up a gecko from Altitude Exotics over the winter time that I was going to import this year, but I am sending that gecko over to Chris and Teresa over at East Valley Exotics, so that we're going to do a little collaboration with her, and so that's kind of exciting.
That is neat.
Yeah. Awesome. It's it's neat to have the opportunity to do that and be able to collab with people in the States. And I was kind of trying to think, do I bring her here? Do I, find someone in the States that can maybe do something with her and have some fun and maybe make some cool pairings with and stuff. So that's the plan with that one. She's like an orange phantom.
Oh, cool.
I'll send you pictures. She's really neat. Cool. So yeah, so that nothing from you on your side of TA.
Nope, pretty smooth sailing over here. I don't know. The whole week has been a blur. I don't know what is going on, but it seems like the older I'm getting, the faster the weeks are going.
Yeah, I honestly agree. Like, the same on my end. I haven't really even been online, so I'm sure there's been a lot of stuff going on that we just haven't noticed.
Right.
I just haven't really been online to see anything. So I on that note, what I would like to ask people who are watching this podcast is send us DMs if there's anything that you come across that we may not have seen that you want us to talk about. Like, if there's any, positive stuff that you saw or anything that you want to promote, if there's any contests that are coming up, events, expos, maybe you're vending for the first time, any cool news of the week. Chances are, if it's been a busy week, we may have missed it. Mm-hmm. And this is the place that we want to talk about it. So if there's anything that you guys have, know where to find us. You can DM us at ALP Morphs or at Gecko Diva on Instagram. And even if you have any suggestions, put it in the comments in YouTube. So we'll be happy to talk about it. So I think we have our guest here. Want to hop into our Expresso segment?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
We got Sly here from YEG Cresties. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Kids are wild, but that's nothing new.
Well, it's busy for you because
Yeah.
it's pretty early where you are right now, eh? You're what, 2 hours behind us?
Yeah, so we're at 7:20 right now. But the kids, they get up at 6 without fail, so this is normal for me.
Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
already up early.
Yeah.
See, we got a trooper on early in the morning for Sunday. So, I think the first question that people might have is where the name came from. If you can explain YEG Cresties for everybody.
Yeah, I've had people ask me if it's YEG, but yeah, it's YEG. I mean, I don't know. It's the airport symbol or code for my city, Edmonton, is YEG. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Edmonton, but everyone's obsessed with calling it YEG. I don't know if other cities do that for themselves, but
Yeah,
mine does. Like
I don't think so.
'cause I come from like a foodie side of social media as well, and all the foodie pages have YEG. My foodie page has YEG, so I just kind of brought that over to the geckos, and then at least local people know what it is. Other people are like, "What the heck?" But I also name my geckos after things in my city too, which is kind of ridiculous. Some of the names, so
That's awesome.
yeah.
I just realized we just changed the format to 3, and I don't know if anyone noticed it yet this morning, but I did do a new background for our YouTube, and I was like, oh, we could change the background now to the new one for the 3 because now the logos are at the bottom. Flip it around. No, it's really cool. Like, yeah, I can't say in Ottawa, April, I don't think we really refer to it as YOW, like yow.
No.
No, and I'm even thinking like Toronto. So I used to be a travel agent, so I know some of the codes, and I remember it being so difficult to remember them because part of the course that we were taking was you had to memorize the codes, and they would give you a bunch of list of codes in your exams, and you had to figure out which ones they were. So we had to kind of make up different sayings like, oh, you're a cutie from Thunder Bay, which would be YQT, and like trying to think of like weird little things that you can make up to remember the codes because like how many airports there are in Canada, like just
A
to
lot,
remember
yeah.
a lot. But as soon as I saw your name, I was like, that's an airport code. I know that. I'm sure many people don't unless you're from
Mhm.
YEG.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen area codes for people's things, but yeah, not the airport code, but
Yeah, area codes
that's
is another one. That's something that seems to be pretty popular, I think, in the ball pythons too, eh, April?
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have like a 416 or
Yeah. So we have is it 416? 416? I think it's 416 for Montreal. 514. 514 for Montreal. And then we've got like 613 reptiles, and
yeah.
I've seen a couple of them that have the area codes.
Yeah. No, I like the name. It's clever.
Thanks.
So how is it in Edmonton, like with Cresties? Like how is I guess the industry out there? Do you find it different? Like is it as booming or
I'd say yeah, it's not very like I don't know a lot of Cresty breeders in Edmonton. Like I've met a couple. A lot more seem to be in Calgary, which is
yeah,
3 hours away.
okay.
Um, but yeah, like I haven't met a lot in my city. I'm sure there's more than I realize, but yeah, I've only personally met a couple.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess
Yeah.
there's expos in Calgary, I guess, right? Like I've
Yeah, we
seen
have we
some.
have expos here too.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Calgary has more because they have the Western Canada show as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's actually this weekend coming up. I might take a day trip. I'm kind of thinking about it.
A little drive down to check it out.
Yeah.
I know if it's even advertised. Well, that's fun. Yeah, it's kind of neat, to see different people in different areas in Canada and to like talk about like what challenges they have or how many like put a face to a name and
Yeah.
you don't think when you're like thinking of different breeders, you tend to get used to the ones that you know in your area. So like when you're in Ottawa,
Hmm.
it tends to be more like the Toronto people or
Yeah.
so to kind of
Yeah, I
spread
think
your
you you guys have way more breeders out there for crested
Yeah.
geckos anyway on your side of Canada.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot. No, it's not a bad thing, but
No. And I think more of the bigger breeders are on your end of the like we're kind of like the smaller ones over here, but that's cool too. We've got Miko or Meko.
Yeah, Meko. I'm gonna have to ask if it's Meko or Miko. I always say
Yeah.
Meko when I say their name, but
Yeah, I say
yeah.
Miko. It's so funny.
Do you have anything from them by any chance, or?
No,
No.
I do glass right now. Maybe eventually, but my collection's not that big yet.
Yeah. No, it's definitely an investment to get a whole wall of gecko enclosures, whether it be glass or PVC. I know like most of all mine are in tubs, like in bins that are converted into gecko enclosures. But
I kind of I stock online, and then whenever I see like an Exoterra up for like $50 or less, I jump on it. I don't even care if I need it or not. It's just there.
just to have a spare, and you just sanitize it, keep it. And also there's some of the reptile stores too will have sales. And at the very beginning, that's what I was doing to get into the Exoterras. I'm like, oh, you have a sale on an enclosure? Okay, how much is off? I'm totally buying that. But now we got all those PVCs. We have some extra enclosures, like glass ones, that we're gonna have to list up, and I think they're going to be free to good home or something. And because there's I'm not going to sit on like 3 extra enclosures. Well, it would be two glass enclosures and the tortoise enclosures going outside, so he has a space to go out in the summertime. So you want to pop up and start looking at your geckos, and we can start talking about your project?
Sure. Sounds good. All right.
Tell us about this one.
Yeah, her name, she's Butter Dome, so that's actually a building in Edmonton. Anyway, but yeah, she's.
Oh, that's right. You named them after things in the city, right? Okay, so we're gonna have to ask you where the names come from. Okay, so.
Yeah, so this is just a weird building, and it's well known in my city. But yeah, I actually won her on an auction, like the AGD Morph Menagerie one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had already bought something from AJ, and I was like, "Are you gonna put the lily whites up? Because I've been really wanting a lily white." And he's like, "Yeah, just watch the auction. We'll see what you can get." And yeah, I jumped on her, and I didn't really have to fight anyone for her. And she's like amazing. She's way better than I could have imagined. So I'm pretty happy with her.
That's awesome. Like,
she's gorgeous.
What a good score.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Is this AJ's gecko or is this from Morph Menagerie?
No, it's AJ's. Yeah, yeah. So she's out of Mellow Yellow and Dewdrop.
Okay, yeah, he produces such nice geckos. Like his frost lines and his lily whites they're so nice. So are you getting into, I guess, like specific plans with lily whites? Like, do you have goals? Are you going into yellows or?
Yeah, I have like a couple stages. So my first stage, I just want to like cover the thing in white, and I love like the fact that she has a solid dorsal and a solid white head. I just want to like expand on that and just like make her as white as possible. And then the next phase, I think I'm gonna actually try to make some empty backs. So I'll throw her to my empty back male, and that'll be a few years down the road, but that'll be a fun project to go into. And then who knows after that, that'll be fun.
Yeah, and she's still little, so it'll be. Is it a girl, a male, or a female?
Yeah, she's female. Yeah, she's female.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see all that white from the dorsal that's already dripping down. See how much coverage that she's gonna have. How big is she right now?
She's like 12, 13 grams now.
Okay, so she's good size, but she's still got a lot of coverage that's gonna pop out for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I love her.
Me
I
too.
love yellows and I love lilies, so it's like a perfect combination for me.
Yeah, it was so cool when I won her on the auction. Like a couple people actually DM'd me, and they're like, "Oh my god, you got such a cool gecko!" And I felt so cool. I was like,
"You're like, I know I did."
I'm on the map now, bitches.
Right? I'm a little bit jealous. Yeah, I know that's a nice gecko. Love it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about this one. Woo.
Yeah, so she's Jasper Ave. I got her actually, she's my most recent gecko. I bought her from Jenna with Spot On Geckos.
Okay.
And yeah, she's just like the coverage on her is just wild, right? Like she's small
Yeah.
too. I think she's like, what is she, like 6 grams ish, I would
Okay.
say. And yeah, she's super pretty. Her what is her lineage? I've got it all written down. Yeah, so she's a Zengex plus from Yanif from Zengex, and then a Bali from Spot On Geckos, and
Okay.
that's like 3 generations of Jenna's stuff too. So yeah, she's a really pretty
And their
gecko. I'm really
stuff has
excited.
so much coverage. It's high coverage stuff. Eh?
Yeah, like it's so consistent, right? Like it's those generations that she's done, like really, yeah, you know what she's gonna produce because it doesn't change.
Yeah, so you see it proven through the lineage. So you know when you're
Mhm.
pairing her with something that what she has is going to be transferring onto
Yeah.
her
Mhm.
her babies. She doesn't look like she has. There's no pinning. Eh? I'm trying to see. I don't think any. Is
No,
there
so it's
pinning or?
no, it's kind of weird. So yeah, a lot of her stuff has like, yeah, this like it looks like it almost would have pinning, but it doesn't. It's kind of
Yeah,
cool. It's like northern stuff kind of does that. I think sometimes they're very
yeah,
extreme animals. So
yeah. No, it's kind of neat too, though, that her dorsal is so clean. Like it's not fully kind of coming into it, but it almost like walks.
yeah, yeah.
No, I love it. This is a gecko up your alley, eh, April? You like that full
Yeah, I
coverage.
like. Yeah, yeah, she's really pretty.
I feel like she's sitting
She's
there.
got some males that look like it for sale.
Man, I don't need any more guys. There's enough.
Did you mention the name? Because I don't remember what the name was and what was associated with in Edmonton.
Oh, right. So yeah, this is Jasper Ave. So it's just it's a street downtown that's like kind of got bars and stuff on it.
So it's the pub hopping gecko.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Oh, I know where
Okay.
this one's from right away.
Yeah. So yeah, this is AJ's. It's his picture too. He knows I'm posting this, so no, no worries there. So yeah, this one, what is his? So his name's Fringe Fest. He's from Voyager and Chopsticks. Both are super empties or empties, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, so this is a super empty back male. I bought him to prove out a pretty sure het female that I picked up. And yeah, I'm just really excited for him. Empty back's a cool
He's
thing
so
to work
cool.
with. So
Love it.
And I love how thick the pinning is all the way down because it
mhm.
just makes it pop so much more when they have pinning on empty back like
Yeah.
that. Like, and I'm
And
trying to think, I've had some geckos come out in my empty back pairings that don't have the full pinning, and it's weird because you see that the pattern on the dorsal is eaten away, but it's so much more obvious and is usually more common that you see the pinning within the empty backs, eh?
yeah. And I got him too because I was like, which is your empty back with the whitest pinning? Because I'm more wanting to go the opposite way. I know tangerine's a big thing with empty backs, but
Yeah.
the het I have is very white, and I
Okay.
just want to play on that more. So I'm pretty happy with him.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you were mentioning super empty back, empty back. That the whole wording on empty back is so confusing, and I just wish we could
Mhm.
stick with like the original stuff where it was like empty back, super empty back. Because I
Yeah.
find that it gets confusing now when people say het empty back, and then someone will post an empty back, but you don't know if they mean that it's a het empty back or are they meaning it as a super empty back, and
Yeah,
you know.
it gets confused. Yeah.
Yeah, we had this. Crystal and I had this conversation when I was first getting into the crested geckos, and she was trying to explain to me because I'm ball python, right? For years
Yeah.
and years and years, I do the genetics with the ball pythons, and she's like, a head empty back is this, and a super empty back is that. I'm like, what? I'm like, no. I
Because if
can't
it was a ball python, it'd be like, let's say pastel, where you have a pastel and a super pastel, right?
That's not recessive, right? So when they say het, I'm like, okay, so this is a recessive gene. So if it's het, you shouldn't see markers, right? But this is the ball python coming out of me. And it was like, took a really long time for me to finally wrap my head around it. And even now,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
Well, it's because
Yeah.
people are still switching the wording around all the time because no one really knows what to say. And like at the end of the day, when we have recessive genes within
Yeah.
Cresties. You have xanthic. So when you're looking at it, it's het xanthic or xanthic. And then when you're playing hets, it could be 50% het xanthic, 66% pos het, whatever you want to, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work with empty back. You can't say this is 50% het empty back
Yeah.
because it's not recessive. So I think that putting the het in there is
Yeah.
what's confusing a lot of people.
And you can see when it's het, right? Like there's no question, well,
Yeah.
het, but
because if it's a
yeah.
if it has 2 copies
Yeah.
of the gene, then you have a really empty back, right? It's really obvious that it is.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep calling it empty back, and then I put in little brackets beside it, het empty back, just so people know. And I know for me, like, it's been confusing because I work with the lily whites, and as far as I know, no one has made, unless they have, and I would love to see pictures of it, but I haven't seen a super empty back lily white yet. Right. And I know like Tiki's was working on it, and there was a couple other breeders that are working on it. I think AJ's working on it to produce some this year.
Yeah.
But when you're posting lily white empty back, people are assuming that it's a super, it has the 2 copies of the empty back when it's not the case, and they're technically het empty backs.
Yeah.
So it makes it very confusing.
Yeah.
So what's the name behind this guy?
There's this like Edmonton's very like the one thing that we have going for us is we have a lot of festivals in the summer. So the Fringe Festival is like a street performers kind of plays and stuff. That's just like a festival we have here.
That's awesome. How popular, like you say, the one thing you have going for you? Yeah, no, it's Edmonton. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, how popular is it? Like, do a lot of people come down to Edmonton to check out the Fringe Fest? Is there like?
Yeah, I think our festival, because our summers are really nice here. So they're super sunny, really warm. It's like 2 months and that's it. But yeah, we kind of jam packed. There's so many festivals during those 2 months. Like no matter, like every weekend, 100% there's something going on. So I think, yeah, people like when they come here, it is in the summer, and they do tend to check those things out. We got a lot of good food though. There's a lot of foodies here. We have really good like hole in the wall, like authentic restaurants and stuff. So
that's the draw, right? Is to pull on the foodie hearts, because you have people like, oh, I would have never thought to go for a trip to Edmonton, but maybe they're like going to like Calgary, and it's like a day trip to Edmonton because they want to check out all those cool food spots.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Calgary. It's close to the mountains, but yeah, I definitely think the food scene's a little better here than Calgary.
Do you guys find that you get a lot more visitors during the Calgary Stampede, where people will come up and check out Edmonton because they're already down, or is it draw more people out because they're all there for the Stampede?
Honestly, I don't know. Like I used to work in the restaurant industry, so I'd always like, there'd be people coming up from out of town and be like, oh, what are you here for? But I don't think I recall anyone saying like, oh, I'm like checking Edmonton out because I'm at the Stampede. I think once you're at the Stampede, you're too drunk to go anywhere else. So
you're kind of locked in, eh?
Yeah.
Have you been to the Stampede yourself, or?
No. We have it's kind of like K days. It's no rodeo really. Well, there used to be. They got rid of it, but we kind of have our version of the same kind of carnival. So I don't know. It's not like I'm not a country girl. I don't really like country music. It doesn't really.
You're not
it's not my thing. No, I don't like crowds. I don't like idiots. I don't know. I'm just not into it.
Yeah, and I find like with new generations and stuff, we even had a little rodeo here, and the amount of young kids that just recently got their driver's license that were acting a fool in Smith Falls after that rodeo closed out, because they were all there, with their cowboy hats and trying to hit on the ladies, and it was crazy busy, and they were all stupid, just acting a fool in the parking lots, and
yeah. Maybe like I should have went in my like younger 20s or something. I would have fit in better. I would have been right there with them, being a drunk idiot, but that's not my thing.
You're past that now, unless you want to like organize a girls' weekend.
Yeah, I'd rather rather not. All right, so yeah, this one's White Ave. So I got her from YEG Cresties,
Okay.
and she is out of Jolene, she's been with like, yeah. And then yeah, Spinnaker, who is Falcon York, which is like, I think Tara is probably one of her most popular pairings. So
Yeah.
I really like that pairing. I love, like, I've noticed with that pairing, it seems to be a really strong trait, but they have blushing that goes like all the way down the front.
Okay.
Yeah, I really love, like, I love blushing in general, but I love how it expands down. And yeah, I love her contrast. I'm really about contrast, and I saw her. She was one of those ones I saw on Morph Market. I was like, yep, I have to have that one. So
That one is
I got it.
mine.
Yeah, I love the
What's
white on her. So
yeah, I love the white pattern coming up and stuff, and it's like
mhm,
really like bubbly kind of looking, and I love it.
yeah.
What's your plans with her for breeding pairing and stuff?
So I have paired her actually. She's laid beautiful fertile eggs. So I'm really excited. It's actually the
Awesome.
first eggs I've had. Um, so yeah, she's paired to Tatum, he's been around for a while. He's produced some really, really, really nice kids, and he is from an old breeder. What was it called? Oh crap. I don't remember. I can't think I'm really bad on the spot. But his lines are from uh BFG, who's an old breeder in the States, and then Here's Your Gecko produced him, and Barbara from Creepy Exotics, the tricolors that she's
Okay.
produced. I don't know back like which lines it's from, but I know she makes crazy tricolors. So like he makes some really cool high contrast, really orange, really white stuff. So, and
Yeah.
his base is completely black. So I'm really excited to see what these kids are gonna look like.
So
She must
awesome.
fire up super dark, eh? Like,
Yeah, like you can't really see in that picture, but like maybe a little bit on the neck. Her blushing kind of expands into the dark. Like, yeah, it's really, I haven't got really good pictures of her. She's pretty flighty, but
okay.
yeah, I think I've got some belly pictures of her, and you can see it on my page.
That's exciting. And her name again
Yeah,
is?
White Ave. So that's another like that's it's like a
I'm gonna
historical
ask
street.
you.
Yeah, it's a historical street in Edmonton. And there's like, yeah, a bunch of restaurants and pubs and shopping and stuff down it. So it's pretty popular here too.
That's awesome. I see. I love that there's a theme with the names.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
it,
trying to have themes with my names. Like it's all like 90s and 80s themes. So like the Pixel project is all like arcade games and old 90s and like 80s stuff. And
yeah,
all my all my other ones are like more 90s. Like I was a musician, so it was like 90s music bands and or different
mhm,
movies. Like my Pixel guy's Falcor, which is the dragon from
yeah.
Never Ending Story. So it's always kind of nice to have like a little theme to your name, I
It
guess.
helps like picking names too, right? Because sometimes you're
Yeah,
like I know eventually you get so many and you're like, oh my God, what do I name this one? But like,
yeah,
yeah, if you have a theme, it's easier, I think.
yeah. And even like with the movie, you're like, I could name it every single character in this movie. There we go. We got a
Mhm.
bunch of names.
Yeah. So yeah,
No,
yeah, she'll
awesome.
be going through the tricolor project, and really my goal with her is to bring the white out a lot. So
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
mm,
I'm excited to see
okay.
the hatchlings this year that come out of her.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, this one is K-Days. I got him from Oakwana Zoological, and
Mhm.
like yeah, I really wanted something with that like white spot snowflaking. So I saw this one. It was small. I think I bought him. He was like 3 or 4 grams when I saw him on his morph market, and he didn't have a lot of coverage, but I saw the parents. They're really good. What were they? So they're Die Hippie Die and Where is Stoop? He has the best names.
Right?
But and he like, yeah, she like, I saw the potential and I went for it, and I'm so happy I did, because he's just exploding, like just like within weeks. Like I'll take him out, I'm like, whoa, you have more coverage than last time I looked at you closely.
Yeah.
So
And he's got so much coverage, and he's still small, so he's gonna be
Yeah.
insane once
Yeah,
he's
he's around 12 grams now. So he's the one I'm going to be pairing to the Lily first.
okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, no, I would love to see those hatchlings. That's gonna be pretty
Yeah.
easy. And the name for this one comes from
K-Days. So that's the thing that I was saying, like, was the Fest Carnival. That's kind of like,
yes, okay.
yeah. So it's a carnival we do for a couple of weeks here. There's rides and stuff, and yeah,
Oh, cool.
it's short for Klondike Days, but
Okay.
yeah, everyone here calls it K-Days.
K-Days.
Yeah.
Now, we gave Sly an extra slide today because she had a hard time picking 5. So I said,
Yeah.
okay, you could add a 6th one in there because, we just want to see more geckos anyway, so why not?
Yeah.
So we got a special edition of this flashy one, and I know that April's going to have questions because she's
Yeah.
all up in the tricolor stuff. Go.
Yeah, so this one,
You take the wheel.
yeah, this one's a Kuma. Has nothing to do with Edmonton. I actually named her that because when I weighed her, when I got her, she was 6.66 grams. And I was like,
Okay.
oh man, I need to name her something to do with like the devil or something. So I was kind of like Googling names. And Akuma is actually Japanese for like demon or devil. So, and I like the name too. So that's how she got her name.
So
But,
devil-related name does not relate to Edmonton, everybody, okay?
no.
The one that sways from it.
Does she live up to her name? Is she flighty?
No, she's so calm. She's really hand tame. She was the first gecko I actually got. Like I'm actually back. Like I was tried to get into the breeding game with Crested Geckos like in like 2017-ish. Bought some grow outs. They all turned male on me. Then I got pregnant, had a baby, and I was like, fuck this, and like, shelved it. And then I just came back last spring, and she was the first gecko I bought because yeah, she's just like totally up my alley. I love tricolors. I love orange. Like I know orange is really hard to keep in adults, and her mom is very orange as an adult, so I'm very excited. I like really hope that I can put that orange that sticks into my tricolor project from her.
Who's her parents?
LSP, which is a northern gecko, and Throne, who is actually a Winchester kid. So that's Winchester and Rapture. And yeah, Supernova Cresties produced her.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Super
she's
pretty.
Canadian. Because I noticed there was a little theme. A lot of them were like US, I guess, at import, which is awesome because you're bringing in new, fresh, bloodlines for your breeding projects, which kind of helps revitalize the stuff that we have in Canada, right?
Yeah,
Which is
a lot of our stuff is kind of redundant here. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially like you're in a different part of Canada too, so that helps kind of boost your end as well. It's not just all people in one area that are bringing in new stuff, or you're bringing in
shipping
things for specific projects and revitalizing that bloodline.
Well, it's just wild how much shipping costs even within Canada, right? Like for me to get something from you guys, it's like $150 for the smallest box. It's just wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually cheaper to ship out east than it is to ship out west. Because I just sent a box of 2 snakes out east, and it was like $50 or $60 cheaper than it is to ship out west. I just couldn't get over it. I was like, "What the heck? Like, why?"
Yeah, like when I import, it's crazy too, right? Because it's like an extra $150 that anyone on the west, on the east, wouldn't really necessarily have to spend, right? Because you can, if you're closer, you can pick it up at the hub or whatever. But yeah. It's
okay,
really
you're
crazy.
having to pay it for shipping. Yeah, because so for everyone who doesn't know, if you're listening and you're not accustomed to shipping within Canada, so when we're importing stuff from the States, you automatically either, I think it's for 2 geckos, it's like $200, and anything above 2 geckos, you pay a $300 flat rate. You have to pay whatever your shipping is from the States to that hub with Reptile Express. Then you pay the import fee, plus it's 5% duty on the gecko. So it depends on how much your gecko is worth. So if you're buying a more expensive gecko, you're paying a higher price in duty. And then it's the shipping within Canada. So if you're out west, it's still going to the hub in Toronto. So then it still has to go from your location in Toronto to wherever you're located in Canada.
It's super
It
expensive.
adds up really quick. And then when you
Yeah.
start thinking, oh, I'm already doing an import, I might as well add more geckos because I'm paying the 300 fee. Well, then that it's 5%, but it starts adding up if you're starting to add like more
Yeah.
price geckos to it.
That's where like getting to know people like around you is really useful because it's better to buy and bring in as a group than you save a little bit.
Yeah. And yeah, because I have a shipment, like I have geckos going out to BC. Not this week, but next week. And I think the shipping, I already had the box and everything because I had already brought in all the stuff. So the shipping itself, I think, is 107 or something along those lines. So it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be to go out across the country to BC, but I would imagine it's more expensive when it's going to like more remote areas too, right? Like you could have to hit different hubs or
I think Edmonton. I think Edmonton's the first stop in Alberta.
Okay.
But it's still so expensive. Like, it's just crazy.
And it also, sorry, go ahead, April.
How is it only like, just over $100 to go to BC, but I'm shipping out this Wednesday actually to Edmonton and it was $160.
Did you?
I don't know, man.
Did you just do the box size or did you have to include the box and everything when you booked it?
So I've done it a few times, right? And it's literally only a $25 difference. And I opt out of packing instructions and stuff because I've packed my fair share of boxes.
Yeah.
And it's still around $160. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why. Like, they just hate us.
It's weird. It's not consistent because mine's going to Chilliwack and it's a 107, but I just put in the size of the box and it's just a straight shipment fee because I have the box here. I have, the face packs here, like everything I have. Yeah. So but if I put in a kit with it, it ended up upping the price, but because of the cost
so
of
I've
kit,
done
right?
it where I've already had the kit. That was what I'm saying. It's exponentially more expensive, and it's not even the little tiny kit. Right?
I don't know. I didn't even know that till you just told me that. I just assumed it was more expensive because they're further, more fuel to get there, right? But I have no idea. So maybe there's like,
imagine if it's going to Chilliwack, it's probably going to Vancouver first, and then it's going to their hub, right? So there's an extra stop there.
Right. Glitch in the system.
It might be a good question to ask Sam. Like, what is this going on?
Sam up on here, and he'll have to explain the
Yeah, you should have him come on here, explain himself. Just kidding.
He's gonna get an email from me today. Explain yourself. What's the difference? Why are we paying more for this place? I mean, I'm sure there's a logic behind it, and it would be really interesting to hear it. To be honest, like,
I don't think he has control over it, right? So when you when you book online, it comes up. There's like you have all these options. You've got FedEx, UPS, yada yada yada.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, FedEx is setting the prices, right? When
absolutely. I wish because Canada is so big, we had more than just one importer, right? Like
Reptile Runner.
But he's not in the West, is he?
I believe he is.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I think he is. I think he's out somewhere.
Oh, he imports. He doesn't import from the States, though, does he?
Out west. I think he's out west somewhere, and he does. He does imports and exports.
Oh, well, I didn't even know that.
And you were saying, April, I think MBK does imports as well, but that's mainly.
Yeah, so MBK is they just seem to do the ball pythons. So I asked them about Crested Geckos, and he was like, "I'll get back to you," and then he never got back to me. So obviously he doesn't.
He doesn't want to deal with the drop tails.
So with NBK, it's literally like a whole system that they have. So they always, when I export with them, they get my animal a week ahead of time, right? My box of animals. And then they go through each animal, make sure they're healthy, look in their mouths, check them for mites and stuff like that. And then they go into their own separate tubs with water for a week. And then from there, they get packed up, exported on a plane on a Sunday, and land in Florida, and then it's the whole same thing. So they're packed about 3 times before they meet their destination.
Yeah.
So that's like a lot of stress on a gecko, right? Like, so snakes they can handle it a little bit easier than geckos, I think.
Yeah.
But the back and forth and the packing and the unpacking, I think, would be, pretty serious repercussions on a gecko, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, they're more fragile, I would think.
Yeah.
They need
kind of
food
want
and
to get
stuff
them,
more readily.
yeah, and you kind of want them ASAP once they come in, so you can kind of start their adjustment
Yeah.
process and everything, right?
Yeah, it can take them. Yeah, it takes them a while, and right, they're small animals, so like losing a couple grams is like pretty detrimental in some cases, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and sometimes some of them take a little bit longer to adjust when they get in your care than others. Like some of them take a bit longer to get on food, and
yeah,
but yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I can't say I've gotten any geckos through Reptile Runner. I think I got a ball python from out west once through Reptile Runner, but mainly everything I see is through Reptile Express.
yeah. I don't know. Like I've heard of Reptile Runner, but I just hear that people kind of default to Reptile Express, so that's kind of and
I
like
think it's
when I'm
because Reptile Sorry.
Sorry, April, you cut out.
oh no, go ahead. I was cutting you off.
I think it's because Reptile Express just brands themselves a little bit better, right? So
Yeah,
they have the online activity, they're on Facebook, they attend expos and stuff, where Reptile Runner is kind of like, they're just like a hidden gem that you don't really know of unless you have worked with them or shipped through them.
mm-hmm.
I shipped through them once, and it was, no different than Reptile Express. I still got my instructions, and there was an issue, and he was right on the phone, right? I didn't have to email and wait an hour or whatever. He was right on the phone with FedEx looking for the box. And, he resolved it relatively quick. And to be fair, it was like $30 cheaper than what it was through Sam.
Okay. I'll look into that more next time. I think I'm done buying geckos for a while. So, famous last words, right? Famous last words.
Yeah,
as I'm like doing a day trip to Calgary next weekend to an expo, but
you're still picking something up, it.
Just get a
we'll
plant.
see.
A plant.
Just get a plant. That's how April's diverted her attention now is onto plants.
Well, like when I took my road trip a couple weeks ago, I would like to go visit Jenna. She's a medicine hat. I picked up 3 geckos that day. So who knows, right? I made a stop in Calgary, ended up picking up one there, and like I had one that I had got from Exquisite to pick up, and then I got hers, and I was like, oh, came home with 3 geckos. So
there you go. It's easy to add up too quick, eh?
Yeah.
So if people want to find you online, where can they find you? You want to pimp out your socials?
Yeah. So Instagram is what I mainly use. So it's a YEG_Cresties. And then I do have a Facebook. I hate it. Like I don't get like messages, don't notify me. I've tried to make albums and Facebook doesn't want to do that for me. So I have a Facebook. I don't really use it. It's just kind of like my Instagram attaches. So when I make a post, it goes on Facebook too. But there's not a lot of interaction that I have on there anyway. So if you want to get a hold of me, do it on Instagram.
Instagram at it's YEG_Cresties, right?
Yeah.
Right. Perfect. And it'll be all her socials are tagged in the video as well, so you can go and see in the description. It's all there, and you're going to be having hatchlings this year, so we'll be able to follow and see all these new hatchlings that are going to come.
Yeah, like so excited. 5 years in like the making, basically. If you add the last time that didn't happen, so pretty excited.
Yeah. Well, excited to see what you're going to be producing this year and what you'll be producing in the future with your fabulous gecko editions.
All right. Well, thank you.
Nice. Well, thank you very much, Lai, for joining, and we'll pop you back in the back room and close things out.
Sounds good. See you.
Thanks for coming.
I love those frosty-looking geckos.
Oh, they're so pretty, right?
All the white splashes and of course I'm a sucker for a yellow lily white.
Of course. I was like, I seen House of Geckos has a red lily white male up, and he's so pretty, and I want him so bad. But I don't need any more geckos. But I'm kind of like, but I think I really do want that gecko because the red is like, it's like a cherry red. It's very, 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 very red, but it's not like a muddy red. You know what I mean? Like it's vibrant
Yeah, it's
I'm
vibrant.
like, oh, like I want them, but
So next week is the week you're at the expo, right?
no, I'm not going.
Oh, you're not going. So we do have a show next week then.
If you want to do a show, we can do a show. I just
we were gonna have a week off next week, so we'll see if we could pull something together, and if not, it'll just be us. But so then we will. I was gonna announce that we don't have a show next week, but looks like we're gonna have a show next week.
I just can't go next week.
Okay.
So yeah, we can even like take the Sunday off. Like we don't have to.
Well, let's put a poll out to see if people want to hear us on Sunday or if they want to take the Sunday off.
Yeah. Okay. Please vote in my favor. I want to sleep in.
Did you not get to sleep in yesterday? I got to sleep in yesterday for the first time in a really long time.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah, it was lovely. But then I feel so less motivated to do things when you sleep in later. So. All right, guys. Well, we'll probably post a poll this week. We'll see if we'll do an episode on Sunday or not, and we'll keep you posted. But you'll see it in the stories because we'll announce it. And I hope you guys had a good time. And everybody who comes back to check the playback, we appreciate you. And have an awesome week.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Shake your dreams from your hair. I'm already there, right beside you.